I don't need to see the chunks in the milk to know it's spoiled. I can smell it. And he has a way of saying things where you go, even though I kind of get where you're going, dude, your milk is spoiled. And again, the black women that he named are all smarter than you.
And it was the black woman who killed him.
I have said very plainly, I do not think that young man should have lost his life. That doesn't negate the horrible things that he said that hurt people that look like me. So I'm unequivocal. I've been clear about what I said.
Somebody say something about Charlie Kirk. We don't know. Did you tell the truth? Did you know who that was before he got shot?
I had heard of him because I'd seen his stupid speeches or whatever he does. I've seen him before. But
what did he say? Stupid.
Very hateful stuff against.
That's what I want to know.
Women.
What did he?
A lot of strong things to say about.
I didn't know him.
Folks.
All I know is the signals before he got shot in the back was so obvious.
Yes, thank
It's
you.
like that. Wow, they set him up.
Yeah.
Political commentary and stand-up comedy have always shared a messy, sometimes uncomfortable overlap. The comedian's job, after all, is to push, provoke, and poke holes in social norms, even when people squirm. But what happens when the punchline comes after someone's death? That's the messy territory D.L. Hughley, Aries Spears, and Corey Holcomb found themselves in when discussing the killing of conservative figure Charlie Kirk. The conversations weren't polished eulogies or heartfelt condolences. They were raw, sometimes contradictory, and occasionally as messy as the political discourse Kirk himself thrived in. In his interview, D.L. Hughley doubled down hard on his earlier comments about Charlie Kirk. His core point wasn't that Kirk deserved his fate, but rather that Kirk was a man who said harmful, damaging things that could not be excused under the banner of free speech. Hughley argued that Kirk's rhetoric, whether suggesting black pilots are unqualified or hinting that women lack the mental capacity for leadership, wasn't just offensive, it was dangerous.
So I got a question for you, if you could clear things up. People online are saying they're not happy with what you said about Charlie Kirk, that he's a horrible human being after his assassination. You do believe that?
I was clear.
But when the country's calling for civility after what happened...
Let's be clear. The country isn't calling for civility. The very leader of this country today was mocking the president, a former president, for having cancer and telling him not to feel bad. So the leadership of this country is not calling for civility. I have said very plainly, I do not think that young man should have lost his life. That doesn't negate the horrible things that he said that hurt people that look like me. So I'm unequivocal. I've been clear about what I said. I certainly do not think that man should have lost his life for what he said. But I thought that what he said was deplorable. And I think that anybody that pretends like you can't tell me you heard what he didn't hear what he said, but you heard what Jimmy Kimmel said. That's unreasonable. And you can't tell me that we're calling for civility. One time, has this president called for civility at all? No. At all. Not even the olive branch. He said today, I'm supposed to be better, and I know.
What did you think of the Democrats who voted against that resolution in the House to honor Charlie Kirk? Do you think it's okay just to honor the fact that he debated the other side and was open to? I mean, even Van Jones said he invited him on his show.
Let's not bring Van Jones into a conversation. That's probably the wrong messenger to speak to me about. I think that, and I'll be clear, I think every man has the right to express himself. I think the things that he said, I don't believe that just because a pilot is black, he's unqualified. I don't believe that women don't possess the brain power to be intelligent enough to not have set aside to be responsible for their job. I don't believe that black people are responsible for most of the violence in this country. I don't believe that.
For Hugley, then, the issue was less about mourning Kirk and more about refusing to sanitize what he said while alive. To pretend Kirk wasn't toxic would be, in Hugley's view, an insult to the communities Kirk insulted. Aries Spears approached the controversy from a more complicated angle. On one hand, Spears admitted that Kirk's commentary on trans issues, his "What is a woman" campus routine, resonated with him. Spears insisted that agreeing with Kirk on that specific point didn't make him transphobic, just skeptical of certain arguments.
You called out for people who were mocking Charlie Kirk's death. Now, you disagree with a lot of stuff that Charlie Kirk did and said, but you support his stance on transgenders.
I agree with him about that. Like
Well,
whenever
it's the thing on,
when he would go to the college campuses and he would ask them, "What is a woman?" And of course, the kids would ramble about what a woman is, and he would break it down. No, science versus feelings.
Yeah.
What is a woman? And he would break that shit down. And I'm like, how do you not agree with that?
But Spears wasn't about to let Kirk off the hook elsewhere. He ran through Kirk's greatest hits of controversy, dismissing the Civil Rights Act as a mistake, trashing Martin Luther King Jr. as awful, and claiming black women lacked the brain power to be taken seriously. Spears had a field day dismantling these claims, pointing out the irony that Michelle Obama, whom Kirk once derided, graduated from Ivy League schools while Kirk himself couldn't even boast a completed degree. His conclusion was simple. Kirk's arguments weren't clever insights, but verbal trickery, cheap rhetorical devices designed to sound intelligent, but reeking of spoiled milk.
I mean, when you saw the video of him getting killed, what'd you think?
It's brutal.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so graphic.
Yeah. And then you had some people that were celebrating his death, some people that were mourning his death. I didn't celebrate.
I think the thing that I heard that I think was fair was people would go, I'm not going to mock his death, but I'm also not going to mourn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you were one of those people that felt a certain way in terms of your feelings towards him, and you were strong in those beliefs, and you stood firm in those beliefs, I think that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, what was he said that he didn't support, what was is it the Bill of Rights, or what was the?
He said the Civil Rights Act.
The Civil Rights Act, there we go.
Yeah.
He said the Civil Rights Act was wrong or should have happened? And like a little black boy
you should
confronted
look
him
it
about
up.
that?
That way we don't misquote it.
Okay, hold on. Charlie Kirk said that the Civil Rights Act was a huge mistake. There you go.
Well, listen.
And, hold on, there's a little more. He said, I have a very radical view on this, but I can defend it, and I've thought about it. We made a huge mistake when we passed the Civil Rights Act in the 1960s. He said that the Civil Rights Act led to a permanent DEI-type bureaucracy. You know, he also said that Martin Luther King Jr. was awful. He's not a good person. He said one good thing he actually didn't believe. Well, there you have it. There you have it. And I remember there was a little black kid, like he was maybe 10 years old, that actually confronted him about this. And he said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Civil Rights Act.
Right. You know, and then he also said that, I forget the other women he named, but Michelle Obama. And then he named about 2 other women of color and basically said that black women's brain, they don't have the brain power to, can you pull that up too?
Yeah.
But somebody pointed out, which was, I thought funny, was all these women he were naming went to Yale and Harvard. Yeah. And I don't even think he finished college.
And then came the kicker, karma. Spears noted that Kirk was killed by a white man, not the black community he so often vilified. To Spears, that was the universe playing its dirtiest joke. The irony was too thick to ignore.
Here's what he said. He said, black women do not have the brain processing power to be taken seriously. You have to go steal a white person's slot.
Well, listen. And this is kind of sometimes what white folks do with verbal trickery. Because I get what he is trying to say, but the way that he is saying it,
What is he trying to say?
He's talking about you should be qualified for a position instead of it's given to you because you're black.
Right.
Now, whether you agree with that or not, there are certain reasons why these things have been put in place to protect us. There's certain reasons. Now, some might argue, well, now in 2025, that's not valid. Okay, but my thing is this. I don't need to see the chunks in the milk to know it's spoiled. I can smell it. And he has a way of saying things where you go, even though I kind of get where you're going, dude, your milk is spoiled. Because you just say things in such a way where it's like, really? Really? And again, the black women that he named are all smarter than you, have higher educations than you.
Yeah. And it wasn't a black woman who killed him.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Corey Holcomb, never one to shy away from a hot take, chimed in with his own perspective. His comments were less about carefully breaking down Kirk's ideology and more about gut-level reactions. Holcomb and his co-host described Kirk's speeches as stupid and full of hateful stuff, the kind of content that didn't need an advanced degree to recognize as toxic. Holcomb even floated the idea that Kirk was set up before being shot, suggesting that the warning signs were too obvious to ignore.
Somebody say something about Charlie Kirk. We don't know. Did you tell the truth? Did you know who that was before he got shot?
I had heard of him because I'd seen his stupid speeches or whatever he does. I've seen him before. But
What did he say? Stupid.
very hateful stuff against.
That's what I want to know. What did he say?
Against what was it? The
Do you-
killings, all the killings. Exactly. A lot of strong things to say about.
I didn't know
colored
him.
folks.
All I know is the signals before he got shot in the back was so obvious.
Yes, thank you.
It's like, wow, they set him up.
Yeah. And then you see how what's his name, his so-called best friend Trump. Very next day, he's woohoo, like he wasn't crying. He was going to baseball games and
Somebody said the only Charlie I know is Brown.
There you go. That's a good one.
Charlie
And
Wilson.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Wilson, man. I hate when Charlie Wilson sing background, man, because he's so loud. It take over the whole song. That ooh-wee nigga, shut it. That's the only thing. That shit sound he like a human saxophone.
He was
nigga.
very arrogant when I saw him at the airport. I don't hold that against nobody because you be trying to get home, but I was like, oh, okay.
What ties these three comedic voices together is not agreement on every issue. Far from it. Hugley was unwavering in his moral condemnation of Kirk's rhetoric. Spears carved out selective agreement while eviscerating Kirk's racial commentary. Holcomb, meanwhile, seemed content to dunk on Kirk's memory while tossing out theories and side jokes. The common thread? None of them sugarcoated Kirk's legacy. They recognized his death was brutal and graphic, but they refused to pretend he was some saint. In a world where obituaries often polish legacies cleaner than a politician's tax records, these comedians chose instead to grapple with the messiness head on. And maybe that's the role of comedy in the political space, not to offer comfort, but to make sure nobody gets too comfortable.